And away we go. It is the Nightcap, brought to you by Hail Mary Sports Bar, right here on BearcatJournal.com. We are live from the Cincy Light Studios. You should go visit our good friends at Hail Mary's. They are located in Cheviot, right on Harrison Avenue. They're in the Dora District, so you can walk from bar to bar with your drinks, or you can just hang out at Hail Mary's. They've got 27 TVs, a 9-screen video wall. There's not a bad seat in the house. They subscribe to every sports package DirecTV offers, and Cincinnati sports will always be on the video wall. They don't have a kitchen, but they do have food trucks on the weekends and randomly throughout the week. Brand new walk-in cooler, brand new draft lines. And not only do they pour the coldest beer around, but you can get your Cincy Light on tap in a 32.8 degree beer frosted glass. All right, Aaron. Well,
the more the merrier, right? That's the theme of the show.
I mean,
so the more ounces in the glass, the merrier is what
right.
I was getting at. But that's again the theme of the show today.
It's been a weekend. Basketball fun. This is a football show for the most part. And the Big 12 is the biggest mess of a conference that's ever conferenced. There are now 4 teams tied at 6-2. There are like 5 more teams at 5-3 that are still somehow. I think they said if everybody ends up at 6-3, that there's like 260 something tie-breaking scenarios that would have to come into play. If
that's wild.
We'll get to it at the end. Let's just get through this first part here. As everything that stupid that could have happened pretty much happened. There was one that didn't, but almost did. But we'll start out with Arizona State taking down BYU. A wild scene as they thought the clock ran out. They stormed the field. They had to get everybody off of the field. Kenny Dillingham, he is that annoying dude in college that never shut up. Like, that is him. Like, he was yelling at the referees. Like, his wife was standing there. Like, he's the most annoying person on the planet, but it's kind of fun because he's still young. But it's going to get exhausting quickly with him. The novelty is going to wear off soon. But anywho.
Yeah, it's not as fun when you're 40.
Right. We all grow out of it eventually. Most of us.
Do we?
Sometimes. BYU gets a Hail Mary that they catch at the 3-yard line. They come up 2 yards short. This league's so dumb. But Arizona State is now essentially kind of in the driver's seat to be the best team in this conference. Of course, the team that was picked to finish last.
Yeah, Cam Scatterbo was a beast. 28 carries, 147 yards, 3 touchdowns. Dude's a maniac.
He was also the guy that was like leading the charge to get the students off the field and back into the stands so that they could win the game. If you were watching, he was.
Who wouldn't listen to him?
Like,
who wouldn't listen to him? That's a big dude. I still every Saturday I'm more happy that we didn't have to see Sam Levitt 16 25, 247, a touchdown, a pick. But he's just a dude. He is a dude. I don't know. Just this game was crazy. The finish was insane. I don't know what else to say about it.
All of it is insane. But yeah, they're kind of in the driver's seat now. BYU has lost 2 in a row.
Frauds.
I mean, you loved BYU
until I didn't, and that's fine.
They get Houston next week, and of course Arizona State gets Arizona. That one's on the road, but man, Arizona State's bad. And then let's keep it moving. Kansas did the thing that we said would be the funniest thing. They were left for dead on the side of the road. They have been the exact opposite of Cincinnati.
Devin Neal.
Cincinnati, Cincinnati was 5-2 and cruising right along, and now they've fallen off the face of the earth. Kansas, like, they were about to put Kansas out of its misery.
We put the whole passing offense of Cincinnati on a milk carton, but that I digress. Devin
They are
Neal,
the only team in the history of college football to have a losing record and win 3 weeks in a row over a ranked team. It's never happened before.
Devin Neal, 37 carries, 207 yards, 3 touchdowns. Jalen Daniels, 14-21, 189 yards and a touchdown. It's still subpar for him, but getting the job done.
They didn't have to throw it. They just handed it to Devin Neal.
Well, he also had 4 catches for 80 yards and a touchdown. So he had 4 of the touchdowns, which I guess that's all of their touchdowns. 28. Yeah. Maybe.
1, 2, 3. Potentially. I don't know. Something like that. They either had 4 or 5. I don't know which. Anywho.
I don't see anybody else having recorded a touchdown, so perhaps. Yeah. But yeah, this
maybe
they had 9 points in field goals. So yeah,
maybe one of the dirtiest plays I've seen all year on Shadur, who threw a pass downfield, took 2 steps, plenty of time, and a Kansas linebacker just went right at his kneecaps.
Helmet to the knee.
Yeah, I can't believe they didn't physically assault that kid on the field.
The game was kind of chippy, though. You also had Shiloh, who just for no reason, the Kansas was about to score a touchdown, and Shiloh just grabs the nameplate and gets his hand up under the pads and does what Shiloh does, and he might be the dirtiest player in all of college football.
Yeah.
Trying to step out of the shadow.
Got to do what you got to do, I guess. Travis Hunter, 8 catches, 125 yards, 2 touchdowns. He's pretty good, but not good enough. And Kansas goes Iowa State, BYU, Colorado. To go. After they were 1-6 at one point, 2-6 at one point.
It was bad.
And it was terrible. They were awful.
Now they're 1 win away from bowling, because why not?
Yeah. Iowa State almost got tripped up too, as they hang on to beat Utah 31-28. Aaron, I think Iowa State's not I think they're not good. They did not impress me all that much against Cincinnati. They were not they were not that good against Utah. They're just kind of I thought they were better.
I am not willing to call a 9-2 team not good, especially a team that beat Cincinnati. But not
good
because
they were up by 3 in the fourth quarter.
Not because they beat Cincinnati, but simply because I'm just not going to call a 9-2 team not good.
I mean, they barely beat UCF. They barely beat West Virginia.
See, now you're starting to sound like the people who are against Cincinnati being in the CFP. Just saying.
I mean, I'm still allowed to look at them and say I don't think that they've managed to win. Congratulations to them.
Jaden Higgins has a huge bounce back game, 9 catches, 155 yards, and a touchdown. Outside of that, I guess Carson Hansen, 14 carries, 57 yards, 2 touchdowns. Rocco Beck, 20-38, 256, touchdown, a pick. He also had 7 carries, 27 yards, and a touchdown. They figure out ways to win. I would love a team that figured out ways to win, and we were arguing if they were good or not.
Yeah, you also shit on Kansas State for 11 weeks, and they beat the piss out of Cincinnati yesterday.
And I still, after watching that game, don't think they're good. I think that Cincinnati might be that.
So I'm not allowed to say it about Iowa State, but you're allowed to say it about Kansas State? They just haven't. They had 2 close games that they won. They had 2 close games that they lost.
Look, I just don't like Avery Johnson's face. I want to punch him in the face.
TCU stays hot, 49-28 over Arizona. Arizona stinks. TCU 14-7, 14-14. They're very consistent. Fafita again, right around 300 yards. for Arizona, but not good enough. TCU, really, Cincinnati's got one chance here, Aaron, this week.
A Hail Mary, if you will.
It's going to be cold. I think they've played one game under 70 degrees all season, TCU. And we've seen some of those teams come into Nippert in November. I remember USF a couple years ago that they wanted no part of it.
However,
that's the only chance.
TCU is running the ball well, 36 carries, 149 yards as a team for 6 touchdowns. They scored 6 touchdowns. This defense, I'm terrified of a team that wants to run the ball. Terrified.
The running part doesn't really terrify me as much as teams that can do both. I mean, the quarterback doesn't run. I don't think they can.
21 of 29 for 303 yards. No big deal there either.
But I'm saying the running quarterback scares me because that looks like it just. Avery Johnson ran the ball once and the defense just looked like they went,
maybe I'm just scared of a football team playing our football team at this point.
Well, they pass it really well. So that's a problem for Cincinnati's defense. Unless they're so cold that they can't catch. TCU's offense is good. They've won 4 of their last 5? They're still, I think, in the mix to win the conference or play in the conference championship game.
That's because there's 8 teams still in the mix. So
yeah. Arizona's bad. They're not good at all.
Sure.
Texas Tech 56-48 in a wild one in Stillwater, Oklahoma. 1 away from the perfect season in reverse, and they get Colorado at noon this Saturday. But Oklahoma State bad, Texas Tech still alive for half the teams in the conference, still alive for a conference championship with 1 game to go.
There's been an Ollie Gordon sighting. He may be off the milk carton. I don't know. We'll see. But 15 carries, 156 yards, touchdowns, and 3 more catches for 30 yards. Well done, sir.
Neil Brown gets West Virginia to that elusive 6 wins, even though they sound like they still want to fire him. They beat Central Florida 31-21. It doesn't sound like a very impressive game, but again, West Virginia finds a way to get across the finish line with more points.
Miles Montgomery with his torn ACL or whatever he had that he came back from magically after less than a week.
Torn ACL.
I don't even know how that happens. He had 8 carries for 46 yards, but RJ Harvey 16 carries, 130 with 2 touchdowns, led the way for UCF, but not enough as he was outdone by CJ Donaldson and his 96 carries and 2 touchdowns. And Garrett Green, he's back 13-21, 118 yards and another 49 yards on the ground. So not impressive offensive numbers, but they figured it out and still going to fire the coach. Why not?
Honestly, I don't know if they have enough money to, but they want to. And I think when you're at that point where you want to, you just have to figure out the money part.
The flip side is you also have to pay somebody else. So whether that is a buyout or whatever the case may be. So we'll see.
Baylor 20, Houston 10. Baylor, every game had one team that's still basically in the hunt for a conference championship because the Big 12's stupid. Baylor's offense had been on fire. Houston does a good job slowing that down a little bit, but still Baylor gets the dub 20-10. They are 7-4 overall and 5-3 in the conference.
Yeah, Sawyer Robertson threw 3 picks in this one. Not a good day at the office for him. The running game, 47 carries for 148 yards for Baylor. You'd think that 350 yards would be able to get it done. It did, but not the video game numbers we'd seen Baylor putting up as that game. I expected that game to beat the 50.5 over under, and 30 points did not touch the over under.
No. Big 12 basketball wasn't a great couple days. Tennessee smacks Baylor. Baylor's 4-2. Duke beats Arizona. Wisconsin beats UCF. Oklahoma State did knock off Miami. Texas Tech beat Syracuse. This is all on Friday. There wasn't a whole lot yesterday, I don't think, other than UC and Georgia Tech. Today, LSU 109-102 over UCF in 3 overtimes. Woo! Tomorrow, a great one. Auburn at Iowa State.
Oklahoma State lost to Nevada also.
Yeah, Oklahoma State lost to Nevada. Auburn, Iowa State tomorrow, 9:00 in Maui. So that one should be fun. Tuesday, Houston and Alabama in Vegas, and Kansas and Duke also in Vegas. That'll be a good time Tuesday night. And then Wednesday, West Virginia, Gonzaga, and that pretty much sums it up. So there you go. That'll wrap it up. We'll see you tomorrow night for the BBP.
No, you didn't want to talk the playoff picture? You said we'd do that at the end.
Oh, okay. Go ahead. Everybody, half of the teams are in, half the teams are out.
It's absolute insanity. The tiebreakers right now, there are 2-team tie scenarios. The 2 tied teams at 7-2 would be the championship game participants. That's one of the scenario. The 3-team tie scenarios: Colorado lost, Arizona State versus Iowa State. Arizona State losses Iowa State versus BYU. Iowa State losses Arizona State versus BYU. BYU loss if Texas Tech defeats West Virginia. Then if Baylor beats Kansas and Cincinnati beats TCU, then Colorado versus Iowa State. Otherwise, Colorado versus Arizona State. If West Virginia defeats Texas Tech, Arizona State versus Iowa State. The 4-team tie scenario, Arizona State versus Iowa State. For teams who are 5-3 entering the week, they must win and see at least 3 of the 4 6-2 teams take a loss. This shit's bananas.
It's so stupid. Like, I think somebody said yesterday there's a chance it could be Texas Tech and Baylor in the conference championship game. Oh,
I don't even know.
So dumb. But that's the joy of this conference is legit. You never know on any given Saturday what's actually going to happen. And sometimes it happens and you kind of don't even believe it. Like, I don't think that actually happened. This conference alternates in like a second universe somewhere off in the galaxy. So dumb.
Just drunk.
Yeah. All right, BBP tomorrow night. Can't wait. This is the Nightcap, brought to you by Hail Mary Sports Bar, right here on BearcatJournal.com.
See ya!